Okay, so
We can
let's do
start now.
our speaking practice today. You ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so let's start first with part one, and we're at number 9. Let's do decoration. I need to update this one somehow because there are new questions coming in, I think.
Yeah.
Decoration. So, what's decoration like in your home?
Uh, well, in my home, decorations are just simply my figures, and also that maybe some tree. The tree, the tiny small trees
You
that we
mean
put
potted
on.
plants?
Yeah, the potted plants that is small enough um, to use as a decoration, and I believe that is really popular nowadays. We can see
Yes.
we can see potted plants everywhere, especially in cafes.
What do you think about paintings then? Is it a good decoration?
Well, I believe it depends on each people's hobby. You know that
I think
most
it depends
people.
on each one's taste, not hobby. Cái gu
uh,
mỗi người mới đúng nha chứ không phải hobby. It
yeah,
depends on everyone's taste because it's just a matter of taste. Nó chỉ là một cái
yes.
vấn đề của cái gu mỗi người mà thôi. It's just a matter of taste, you know.
Okay. Well, I believe that it's just a matter of taste. You know that some people like painting things. They like to draw something that is exhausting, that is exotic on their walls, and but other people they don't like that. They have painted their they have painted their wall, so they don't want they don't want their walls to be dirty or have some strange figures on them. So that might be not just drawing on them. It's I believe that is spraying and damaging the house.
Right, I see. Do you think decoration in the home is necessary? Necessary?
Well, I believe it also depends on each people taste, but I believe that for most people they like to have something for decoration. If we don't have anything for decoration in uh, our home would be a really normal thing. It would be a boring place to live. So we should have some decoration around our house to make it more colorful or to make it a better place for us to live.
I see. Right, so what kind of decoration do you want to have then?
Well, in my hobbies, I'd love to have some figures from the anime, the anime characters, and I wouldn't I like to buy them and place them in my desk. That's really satisfying. And whenever I feel exhausted or feel boring with my homework, I would take them out. I would grab them and play with them somehow, and I feel that it can relieve off my stress and uh, help me to shy away from the the boring homework, and it's really satisfying.
Mm-hmm. It's really satisfying, I see. Right, so do Vietnamese people like to redecorate their home? Why or why not?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that it depends on whether conventional, con they are conservative people or not. Some old people they would love their house to be intact because they live in their house for a long time, and they do not want to change anything about it because they have They have many great memories, and they don't want to change. They don't want to redecorate. Whereas when it comes to young people, especially the young generation, we like to try new things. We love to redecorate many times as we love to change the environment we live in. So I believe that it depends on whether we are conservative people or not.
Mm-hmm. I see. So, what is your favorite color when decorating your home?
Well, well, in terms of decorating my room or is my home or specifically my room, I would love the color. What can I say? I I would love the color white. You know that white brings me the sense of brightening. It's really when there's light come to my room, I see everything really clearly, and whenever but there's a negative thing that it can be damaged or it can be dirty really easy. That's
Easily.
just
Can be that dirty easily.
can be dirty easily, and cleaning the rooms, cleaning the walls can be a really challenging task. But I love the color white.
Mm-hmm. I see. Right, so would you decorate the walls with paintings? Do you think it's a good idea?
Hmm. Well, when it comes to paintings, I believe that painting can be great decorations. That having something to watch and enjoy whenever there's a guest come to our house, they would look around our house and
Our home.
they would our home and they would
Yes, tổ ấm của chúng tôi.
the chance to marvel at the painting. So paintings can be great decorations. That's why the nobleman the nobleman in the past days they love the expensive paintings famous famous artists so that people can enjoy they can marvel at those painting and have some chat with each other, and so that I believe paintings are ideal things to decorate our home.
I see. Right, okay, let's move on to part 2 and part 3 now. We have lots of things to do. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's try something randomly. I'll give you something. Say, let's do 36 then. Describe a time when you got close to animals. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn đã tiến lại gần với động vật. Here, animals here implies that it's zoo animal or wild animals,
Yeah.
Because if you got close to a strange animal, if you got close to a pet, for example, that it wouldn't make sense to explain what your reaction was, And it wouldn't make sense if they asked who were with you.
Yeah.
Nếu mà nó nói về cái con thú nuôi á, thì nó sẽ không có make sense, nó không có hợp lý. Nếu mà người ta hỏi là lúc đó bạn ở với ai, lúc đó bạn ở đó với ai, hay là cái phản ứng của bạn như thế nào khi nhìn thấy con động vật đó. Well, it wouldn't make sense. And it wouldn't make sense if part 3 is also about wild animals, Nó sẽ không make sense nếu mà cái part 3 nó vẫn nói về cái động vật hoang dã. Trong cái part 2 này là get close to animals này hàm ý là gì? Là nó nói về động vật hoang dã đấy.
Yes.
But of course, you can also talk about pets as well, I think. Because pets are also animals too.
Yes.
You should say where you were, what the animals were doing. Careful with the verb tense, okay? Cẩn thận động từ.
Okay.
Who were with you, And explain what your reaction was. Phản ứng của bạn lúc đó như thế nào? Bạn ở đâu? Con động vật đang làm cái gì? Lúc đó bạn ở đâu? Ai đã ở với bạn? And in part 3 of wild animals, what are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? Có sự khác biệt gì không giữa động vật ở trong sở thú và những con ở ngoài tự nhiên? So think about a lot of things, including how they live. Do they have to face the danger? Do they receive health care and vaccines and all the care they want? Do they have to go hungry if they cannot catch the prey? To catch the prey. Do they have to go hungry if they cannot catch the prey? Do they have to worry about hunting or not? Or something about their survival? Do they have to be afraid of dying in the wild? Think about diseases as well. Nghĩ về bệnh tật nữa nha. Think about diseases. Yes. Do animals in the zoos receive medical treatment? In case of diseases, how about in the wild? Think about their freedom as well. And where do they live? Do they live in cages or do they live in their natural habitats? Alright, think about... Okay, next question. Why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals? Tại sao những nhân viên trong sở thú nên dạy quần chúng về động vật? Wow, this is all about animal conservation, bảo tồn động vật. And also it's about keeping people from harm, because animals can be very dangerous too. Keeping people from harm, because a lot of people, they are very reckless, có rất nhiều người họ bất cẩn và họ vô ý vô tứ lắm luôn á, ẩu. They're very reckless and they feed the animal just like they're a pet or something like that. Có nhiều người cho voi ăn mía xong cái bị hút vô á, xong rồi phải vào bệnh viện á. There are people who feed elephants with sugar cane, and as a result they got sucked into their trunk, they got injured, Very dangerous if you think about wild animals, Okay, and then you should think about one thing as well. In order to raise awareness, of course, to raise awareness of the public about animals. Tại vì vậy sao rất là nhiều người suy nghĩ rất là điên loạn, đó là nghĩ là mấy cái sừng tê giác, sừng trâu, sừng này nọ nó phải chữa được bệnh tật, nhưng mà hoàn toàn chẳng chữa được gì hết. A lot of people, there's an urban myth, lòng tin mù quáng. They have an urban myth that the horn of animals can help cure diseases. Very commonly seen in Asian countries, That's what people believe in. And to protect wild animals, we need to teach the public about that, In order to prevent crimes, để mà nó phòng tránh các vụ án thì xảy ra, vụ án liên quan động vật á, crimes against animals, and crimes against endangered species, những vụ án chống lại những cái con động vật bị nguy hại chẳng hạn. Alright, so next question. Why are people keen on feeding zoos animals, even though it's forbidden to do so? Tại sao con người ta rất là chú tâm đến chuyện mà cho ăn mấy con động vật trong sở thú? Mặc dù điều này bị cấm làm nha. Even though it's forbidden to do so, why do people do that? You should think about the answer to this question a lot. How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? Cái sự gia tăng về dân số con người ảnh hưởng gì đến động vật hoang dã? This one should be easy for you. Alright, so you have some time to think. Describe a
Yeah.
time when you got close to animals, please.
Yes.
Past tense.
I'm going to describe a time when I got close and have some interaction with a horse, and that was the time when I visited a tourist destination, a mountainous area, and when visited that area, and I went uphill, and I saw a lot of homestay there, and accidentally I saw a white horse eating grass there, and next to it was the owner. And I told my dad I wanted to ride
I
the
told my
horse.
father. I told my father.
Yeah, I told my father I wanted to ride the horse.
I told
So
my father that I wanted to ride the horse.
I told my father I wanted to ride the horse, and so we went talk to the owner, and he charged us 100,000 Vietnam dong to ride it around, and so that I had the chance to ride the horse. And at the first time, I was really shy. I have some
I
I
had.
struggled. I had some difficulty when get on the back of the horse, and my first reaction when I have climbed on and to ride it was I really nervous.
I
That
was really nervous.
the first time I met a horse, and that was also the first time I had the chance to ride it. So when when the when the owner let it go walk around, and I was sitting on the back of the horse, and I was when and I felt like I'm a knight.
A
I feel
knight, I say, như
I,
kỵ sĩ
I,
ấy. I felt like I'm a hero, a knight, riding a horse in shining armor.
yeah, and and that was the time, and I told my father to took a lot of picture of me, and to show to so that after come back home I can show my friend, I can boast about it, and that was a really interesting memory. um, I I feel that in the future, if I had time and money, I would love to learn to ride a horse, and if possible, I would love to buy a horse, have to have a horse on my own, and um, take care of it like a pet, so that I would be the knight of all time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go to part 3 of wild animals. So, what are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild?
Well, yeah, uh, to the best of my knowledge, uh, when it comes to accommodation, you know that animals in the zoos, they have their own cage, and so that they just live in that small cage. The environment to live was really narrow, and if I was the if I was the if I was the animal, I would feel really irritated, um, and feel like I want to break out of that cage. But when it comes to animals in the wild, they have a vast place, a wide environment to live, so that they can travel to anywhere. They can
Wait, to
have their
many
own
where?
territory.
To travel to where?
Well,
Travel to.
they can migrate to new lands,
Okay.
and and they can have their own territory. They can have their own kingdom. And when it comes to food and drink, you know that um, animals in the zoos, they rarely have to worry about that problem.
Of course, they rarely have to worry about that.
And their survival is secured. Um, they have the, they have the zoo staff to feed them every meal, some
Okay.
about various meals per day, so that they rarely feel hungry. And when it comes to animals in the zoo, in the wild environment, they have to worry a lot about food. They have to go hunting. They have to hunt. They have to hunt their prey. What they have to hunt for new source of food, so that it require a lot of fighting skills. and
Mm-hmm.
and also
And
on top of
also,
that,
fighting for survival is tough, you know? It's very tough to fight for survival.
yes, and on top of that, those animals living in the
In the
environment,
wild environment?
while environment, they they do not have medical treatment, so they may suffer from diseases out there. And we know that some endangered animals, they are suffer from diseases, and their population becomes so little, so that they have to be put in the zoos where the medical treatment are really good, they are the high standard, so they do not have to worry about diseases out there in there, and they can breed and create new generations, as many as they want. So that I believe that there are a lot of differences between animals in the zoo and those in the wild.
Between.
Between animals in the zoos and those in the wild.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So tell me, why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals?
Yes, um, you know that in these days, um, animal conservation is
Conservation. It's actually
conser
conservation.
conservation is a hot topic to it's a hot topic to debate, but I believe that it's had a great impact on the animals. You know that um, we can raise awareness from the public about the animals, so that they know about the behavior of those animals. They know People can know about um, the skills, the hunting skills, or the weapon of the animals, so that they can be prepared when they meet those animals. And some kind of dangerous animals like snake or tiger, you know that if they break out of their cage, that would be a huge danger for human. And so that in case they break out of their prison, they would go hunt for humans. So that's really dangerous, and we should raise awareness of, from the public
Okay,
about
I think it's good
those.
now. Okay, so what did you say about like conservation of animals again?
Well, in case of in case of those situations, people can maybe have enough knowledge to deal with it. And also, when when there are a lot of people out there, they are hunter who uh, who hunt for animals' horn, like rhino's horn, even even elephant's horn. You know that there are urban myths about those horns. They can kill a lot of disease, and some
Cure nha,
people
cure nha. Có thể
they can
chữa trị là cure.
they can
Can
cure a lot of
cure diseases.
yeah cure a lot of diseases, and for that reason, we should educate people about how can those horns work, how can those horns benefit human, and when people have enough knowledge about them, I believe that they would not hunt for those horns because it's the fact that those horns cannot help people a lot of things like that, and
Of
so that
course, they cannot help.
we can prevent a lot of crimes against endangered species, so that uh, animals can have a better place to live in. They would have a better environment to breed and create new generations, so that uh, so that's why I believe that educating the public about animals is a really alarming work to do,
What do you mean alarming work?
because we have
Cấp
to
bách phải không?
do.
Nó một việc cấp
Yeah.
bách phải làm. It's not alarming work. When you say something alarming, it means that those things are very dangerous and also require immediate attention. Một cái gì đó rất là nguy hiểm và cần phải có sự chú tâm, chú ý ngay tức khắc, nó mới là alarming. Mà trong trường hợp này là một việc mà cấp bách phải làm nhưng mà nó không mang tính nguy hiểm. In this case, it's not dangerous, but it just like require immediate attention. So you should say pressing. Pressing issue, một vấn đề cấp bách. Nó giống như là ai đó đang nhấn mình, nó press, you know, ai đó đang nhấn nút mình, giống như là nó cấp bách. Pressing issue. It's a pressing issue. Be careful with this one. It's not alarming issue, okay? It's a pressing issue. Thì vấn đề nào là alarming? Cái vấn đề mà con người ta săn bắt động vật quý hiếm, nó là alarming, tại vì nó mang tính nguy hại và nó cấp bách. Nhưng mà cái việc mà chúng ta cần làm bây giờ á, thì nó mang tính cấp bách thôi, nó không có nguy hại, nó chỉ là pressing thôi. Be careful with this one, okay? Right, so why are people keen on feeding zoos animals even though it is forbidden to do so?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that people they are curious about having new experiences. You know, if we have the chance to feed wild animals like elephant or uh, giraffes, you know, that is really interesting. And many zoos they allow tourists to feed them, and that's really fascinating. But
You think it's fascinating?
yeah, but when it comes to animals like you know, crocodiles, for example, there are some tourist destination where they have a whole pool for crocodiles to rest and swimming. I I have visited one, and people can have the chance to feed those crocodiles, but I believe that it can be a source of danger when it comes to children who do not have enough knowledge about those animals. They can accidentally fell out and fell on the pool, and that they can be killed by those crocodiles. So that I believe that it's just the curiosity of people who drive them to feed those animals. Uh, Although there are some zoos where they forbid those actions, but it's just the curiosity of time, so um, people cannot resist them.
You think so?
Yeah.
Right. I still think that a lot of people cannot resist that, I think. Right, okay, so how can the increase of the human population influence wild animals then? What do you think?
Well, in terms of human population, we can see that the bigger the human population is, the more place, the more space we need to clear for building new infrastructures and new apartments, so that the larger the human population, the less space for wild animal to live, so that it means forests are clear to make way for new buildings, so that wild animals they have less space to live. So uh, that would be that would give rise to a decline in the number of
Decline,
wild
a
animals,
decline in.
in decline in the wild animals population, so that I believe that as the human population increase, uh, the, the 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 living area for wild animal will decrease, so that it can affect the wild animals population and even put them in extinction, at risk of extinction.
Can put them on the brink of extinction. On
Yeah.
the verge or the brink of extinction. Trên bờ vực thực, bên bờ vực của sự tuyệt chủng. On the verge or the brink of extinction.
Yeah. Verge, brink.
On the verge of extinction or on the brink of extinction, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, very good. You did this one very well. Let's try something else. Let's try 41 then. Describe a time that you gave advice to others. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà các bạn đã cho người khác lời khuyên. You should say when it was. Lúc nào vậy? To whom you gave advice. Bạn cho lời khuyên, cho ai lời khuyên? What the advice was. Cái lời khuyên đó là lời khuyên gì vậy? Explain why you gave the advice. Tại sao bạn lại phải cho cái lời khuyên đó? And part 3 also about advice, giving advices. Should people prepare before giving advice? Con người ta có nên chuẩn bị trước khi mà người ta cho lời khuyên không? Think about different situations. You know, people love to give advices, but the problem is a lot of those advices are not applicable to the situation, you know. Not applicable, không ứng dụng được to the situation. Nó không ứng dụng được với cái tình huống đó, hoặc lời khuyên sáo rỗng chẳng hạn. Not applicable to the situation, or it's just a hollow piece of advice. Remember that the word advice is uncountable, okay? Không đếm được nha, cho nên là piece of advice. A hollow piece of advice, một cái lời khuyên sáo rỗng. And it doesn't help. So give examples. For example, dating advice. Advice about what to choose, you know. Phần đông con người ta chẳng biết gì đâu để mà cho lời khuyên đâu. Most of the time, a lot of people do not know anything about you to give the correct advice, you know. Ta không biết được cái tình huống mình như thế nào, cụ thể như thế nào. Không biết tính cách mình như thế nào, có nên cho lời khuyên đó hay không. People do not really think before they give advice, you know. Okay, is it good to ask advice from strangers online? Hỏi người lạ mặt trên mạng lời khuyên có nên không? Oh, wow. You know, a lot of people they ask for health advices from strangers online, you know.
Yeah.
Hỏi lời khuyên sức khỏe của những người lạ mặt trên mạng, especially on TikTok or on social media, you know.
Well.
And a lot of the time, those pieces of advice turn out to be horrible. And those stories are not reported. Những cái câu chuyện mà đâu được tường thuật đâu. Mấy câu chuyện rất là kinh khủng luôn á. Ví dụ như là uống nhầm thuốc do lời khuyên sai trái, sai lầm chẳng hạn. Moment please. I think someone's calling me. Again. Okay, let's continue now. So I will continue with the next one. What are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? Cái tính cách của những người á, là công việc của họ là cho người khác lời khuyên như thế nào, là họ thường có tính cách gì? So what are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Có vấn đề gì không nếu mà mình hỏi quá nhiều người lời khuyên? ta nói 9 người 10 ý mà, you know. Like, if you ask too many people for advice, what would happen? You would be so overwhelmed with advice.
Yes.
And it would be a bit tougher to make decision, you know. So sometimes, it's good to ask for advice, but sometimes it's not. And can you give an example of a bad piece of advice? Có thể cho một ví dụ của một cái lời khuyên xấu xem. Like, người ta khuyên nên chia tay đi. If people advise you just to break up with your girlfriend, for example,
Yeah.
maybe it's a bad piece of advice.
Yes, I'm right.
Okay, you have some time now to think. Please describe a time that you gave advice to others, please.
Yeah. And I'm going to describe a time that I gave advice to help my close friend to improve his football performance, and he wanted to play football better, and that was about 1 month ago when my close friend, he struggled to better his performance, so that he talked to me. He didn't know how to improve his skills, and so that I believe that so that I found out that his dribbling skills and visual skills is was at low standard. So I told him to start practicing basic skills to dribble, and I also advised him to use his eyes more intelligently, as he should use his shake his head to look around more, to so that he can see where the opponent's coming, and he can see his teammates, so that he can pass the ball to them, so that he can get better support on the playing field. And that turns out really successful. He improved in just a bit, in just a short period of time, so that I felt really satisfied. And the reason
Wait,
why
I
I
find it
gave
really
you
satisfying hay là satisfied?
fight.
Tôi thấy điều đó thật là mang tính mãn nguyện.
No,
I find that really satisfying because you're describing the nature of that thing, not your feelings, right?
no,
So I find that really satisfying. Mới đúng.
I thought I said, and I felt really satisfied with the result. And
Okay, you feel it really satisfied with the result. Okay, good.
yeah, and and the reason why I gave the advice was that he's my close friend, and he's my teammate at all in all matches. So uh, I helped him means that I can help to boost the performance of the whole team, because you know that football is a team building sport, so that helping each other was a task of mine to do. So um, I felt really, I felt, and I believe that in the future, if I had the chance, I
Mhm.
would I would help all the people, all my teammates to better their performance, to better their skills, so that I can boost the team's performance.
Mhm. I see. Now, so let's go to part 3. Should people prepare before giving advice?
Yeah, I believe that when people giving advice, uh, it means that they have to put themselves in others people's shoes, in other people's situations. You know that in order to do that, to give advice, we need some informants we need to discover how the situation happened and who 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 other people's we need to know about their personalities, and we should also ask the victim about how did you see how things went, how things started and last, so that we can have information, we can imagine, and we can put ourselves in their shoes,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can have some feelings, we can know about uh, we know about their emotions at that time, and so that we can make wise advice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe that people should really prepared. They should we be well prepared to make wise advice.
Hmm. I think a wise advice, in order to make a good advice, people have to think a lot, consider a lot of factors.
Yeah,
And a wise person should never give quick advice.
yes,
That's what
that's
I
right.
think.
Well, I recently I read a passage in the IELTS book, and that's a Cambridge book,
Yes?
and that was about how people can produce wise advice, how people can make wise advice, and
Hmm.
it turns out that everyone can give wise advice, but it doesn't really depend on their knowledge, whether they are wise or they're wise, they have bad, they have a good wisdom, they are good wisdom or not. It just depend on external factors like personalities, or the
Personalities, huh?
time, or the time they give advice, or it would it can be even weather, it can affect our
It can
advice.
be a fact là sao?
It
It
can
can
it can affect,
affect.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can affect the advice. So it turns out that everyone can give wise advice. But normally it depend more on external factors.
All right, I see now. Now, so is it good to ask advice from strangers online? What do you think?
Well, I believe that is really harmful for us. That strangers online, they do not know enough about who we are. They do not know about our situations. They don't put themselves in our shoes, so that they just hear um, f- some hollow, or they don't feel, they just hear some shallow information about us, and immediately they give advice. They are unwilling to lend an lend an ear to us. So uh, they just normally I think they just normally give advice, but yeah, those advice are normally unwise advice. So that I believe that asking advice from strangers online is a thing that that should be
Should
prevented.
never be done, right? Should never be done, right?
Yeah, should never be done.
I see. Right. So, what are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others then? Like, for example, psychologist or
Yeah.
a counselor, we have a kind of, what is it called? Couple counselor.
Yes.
Counselor. Couple counseling,
Well,
counselor.
mm,
Like, the people who listen to couples about their problems and how to solve the problems. Những cái người mà gọi là tư vấn cho các cặp đôi á. And also top doctors or psychologists or teachers are the people who give advice to others. So what are the personality of those kind of people then?
Well, in my experience, those people they are people who are willing to lend a sympathetic ear to us, so that they can be calm enough to listen to us, to listen to our experience, so that they can sympathize us, and they can should also have a great enough imagination, so that they can put themselves in our shoes, uh, i- and so that they can make wise advice. In order to do that, they should also have a wide knowledge. They should have some qualifications in psychology, and also I believe that they should they should be experienced people. You know, if we do not have experience, we are if we are not experienced enough, we would normally we would not understand other people's situation and feelings, so that we are likely to make unwise advice. So
Mhm.
that I believe the things I have mentioned are the qualities and
Also,
the now.
there is no repercussion.
Yeah.
Repercussion. There's no consequences that comes from like giving advice online, because people online, you never know, you never meet them. There's no real consequences and no repercussions.
Yeah.
So people are much more likely to give, bad advices or random advices. Tại đâu
Yeah,
có
that's
hậu quả đâu.
right.
Troll người ta thôi cũng được nữa. Mà nhiều khi lỡ đâu người ta theo những lời khuyên đó thì sao đó.
Hmm.
There's no consequences. But if they meet face to face, there are consequences, of course. If they give
Yeah.
a bad piece of advice. Think about that as well.
Yes, that's right. And so that I believe that those the personalities of those whose job is to give advice to to another, um, that should be just those who are willing to lend a sympathetic ears to others, and
To
they
lend a
should be
sympathetic ear. Very good.
they should be a calm person and an experienced person.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, so what are the problems if you ask too many people for advice?
Well, in my experience, if we had if we have too many advice, we would be overwhelmed by those pieces of advice, and we would not know whether they are reliable enough. Uh, we would not be able to choose the the best advice, and because we do not have enough knowledge about them, so that I believe that we should just get some few advice from other people, not just not just the more the more the better, just a few, but at a high quality advice, you know, because if we take the wrong advice, that would cause serious consequences, and we are the person who have to be responsible for the decision we have
For what we
made.
say. We're responsible for what we say, because
We are
that's why
responsible.
in the movies they always say like whatever you say will be used as the proof against you in the court. That's why in the movies they always say that. Tất cả những lời
Yes.
anh chị nói sẽ trở thành bằng chứng chống lại anh chị trước tòa. Those
Hmm.
things. Okay, everything you say, actually you have to take responsibility for that, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that.
so can you
Hmm.
give an example of a bad piece of advice?
Well, um, if I in my experience, if we ask for advice in love, especially couples who are having problems. You know that if we ask 10 people, 9 of them would give advices like you should break up you because the other man is he's so dark, or he's so unwise, or he's a bad person, so you should break up with them. And I believe that in terms of love, other people, they are those who haven't experienced our love. So um, getting getting pieces of advice in love would be maybe an unwise decision, you know,
Decision.
because other people
Decision.
this decision,
Uh-huh.
because you know that other they do not put themselves in our shoes. So um, so getting advice from them would not be a great idea. So that I believe that um, getting advice in this occasion can be really bad pieces of advice.
I see. I see. Okay. Now, so we are done with this one. 41, right? Okay. Okay, so 41's done. Good. Okay, let's try other things. Let's try 46 then. You would love this one, I guess. Okay,
Yes.
describe a computer or phone game that you enjoy playing since your childhood. Miêu tả một cái trò chơi điện tử, trò chơi máy tính hoặc trò chơi trên trên điện thoại mà anh chị đã chơi từ khi còn bé. So it means that you play it when you were a child, and maybe right now you're still playing it. Maybe.
Yes, that's right.
You should say what it is. Trò gì vậy? What it's like? Trò đó như thế nào? How you played it? Trò đó chơi thế nào? But be careful. Do not talk into deep details how to play it. Okay? Because it's very easy to be led astray. To be led astray. Dễ bị dẫn ra khỏi cái nội dung chính. To be led astray from the main content of the question. And you have only 2 questions. You have only 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
How you play it, nói vừa phải thôi. Like, don't talk too much about how you play it, okay?
Okay.
Why you enjoy playing it? Tại sao bạn lại thích chơi nó? And then part 3 of playing games. Why do more and more young people like playing electronic games? Tại sao ngày càng nhiều người trẻ thích chơi những trò chơi điện tử? What will happen if teenagers spend too much time playing computer games? Điều gì diễn ra nếu những bạn tuổi teen dành quá nhiều thời gian chơi những trò chơi điện tử? Should parents and teachers prevent children from playing games? Các bậc cha mẹ và giáo viên có nên ngăn ngừa trẻ nhỏ chơi game hay không? Should parents and teachers... Okay, and then what are the benefits of playing electronic games? Có những lợi ích nào của chuyện chơi game điện tử hay không? I think you do know this one. You have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's think about this one, okay? It's time to think. Okay, please describe a computer or phone game you enjoy playing since your childhood, please.
Yeah. I'm going to describe a phone game that I have played since I was
A what
a
game?
little boy.
A
No,
ball
just
game?
a phone game.
Ah, a phone game. I see.
A phone game I played since I was a little boy, and that was the game named Dream League Soccer. I have been playing it since 2015, and with it's a game about soccer, and with the algorithm.
Let's use the word football, okay? Try to
Okay,
not use the word soccer. Use the word football, okay?
okay,
Football. Mm-hmm.
it's a game about football, and with the algorithms in its program, it can create a whole world of football for players, and I can log in and start my own team. I can develop it and sign more world-class players and I can lead my team to win titles in the game, and so that I find the game really satisfying. I can normally I would spend hours playing it every day, and it helped me to have it helped me to have entertaining time playing it. It meets my demands as I'm a big fan of football, and so that I can I can build my own team and um, start to um, unite the world, and
Oh
also
wow.
I can so that I can meet a lot of friends online. I can challenge them. I can challenge them, and so that I feel really entertaining when I beat them, and that gives me
I
sense of
feel really
sense.
entertained when
I
I'm
feel
beat.
I feel really
Feel gì?
entertained.
Entertained. ED
Entertained.
nha. I feel really
Yeah,
entertained when I.
I feel really entertained when I beat them, and so that gives me the sense of achievement, and that's really satisfying. Uh,
Okay.
so that um, so that I would play for a longer time until I would be until I was I am an adult,
Uh-huh.
so that mm, the times when the memories of playing this game will live with me until I until the end of my life, so that
Uh-huh.
playing it is a great memories of mine.
Okay, very good. Okay, I see now. Right. So, why do more and more young people like playing electronic games then? What is the problem? Is it because the reality, the world, the real world, is so boring, so stressful that they have to find a way to escape the reality or something?
Yeah. Well, with the booming of technology nowadays, um, computer games, or we can say that electronic games online, um, they are developing day by day, so that the animation or the experience it can give to players is really motivating, and it can make them become addicted to them, so that more and more people are addicted to electronic games. And also, we know that in our modern days, people have to cope with a lot of stress, and so that playing electronic games, when playing electronic games, young people have chances to shy away from the stressful life, so that they can have entertaining time. They can refresh themselves really quickly, and so that they can work better after having a rest. So that I believe that that's the reason why more and more young people like playing electronic games, as those games are really addicting, and uh, it helps them to have great time when they rest, and so that's why it's really there are more and more people playing them.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Alright, so what will happen if teenagers spend too much time playing computer games? Do you know the answer? Do you know about the stories of Korean gamers who play non-stop for 72 hours and then he died of a heart attack?
I haven't know that.
Well, that's the
Well,
story of that. Có nhiều người chơi 72 tiếng xong cái lăn ra đột quỵ chết, hoặc là lăn ra
what?
đau tim chết. Well, a stroke
I,
or heart attack, yes. Could
yeah.
be.
Well, well, in my experience, I believe that if teenagers spend too much time playing computer games, they stand a risk of obesity. They spend hours sitting in front of the computer screen, even screaming, and they they would not so that they would lead a sedentary life. Especially in our
Sedentary
modern days,
lifestyle.
live sedentary lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in our modern days, that they have their own computers, so that they can download a lot of games, though, and they're addicted to them. They spend hours playing them. So um, that's why um, computer games contribute to have a huge
Contribute to.
contribution to the number of people are getting obesity nowadays. Because um, the more they play, the more sedentary lifestyle they lead. So that,
Mm-hmm.
besides that, on top of that, even there are some cases like people stand a risk of heart attack. There are some cases around the world who suffer from heart attack after spending hours, even days, playing computer games, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really harmful for us. So I believe that, um, and besides, I believe that people also suffer from visual impairments, because
Right, I
that
see.
spending too much time.
Visual impairment. Very good. You have that word. That is a very high band score, like very technical word actually.
Yeah,
Vision impairment.
vision impairment.
Bị mờ thị giác, hoặc là bị ảnh hưởng, bị lu mờ thị giác, hoặc là bị hư hại về thị giác. Well, this is a very technical word, to be honest
Yeah,
with you. How do you know this word?
learning from school.
Really? Oh well, then what is your school?
Just
What's the
just a
name?
state school. Giao Thủy High School.
Đào Tree High School, right?
Giao Thủy High School. Yeah.
Then probably your teacher is really good.
Yeah, he has in his student's life. Yeah, I mean, when he was a student, he attend school. Just what can I say? The mm, the English competition of the whole province 3 times, and he won great titles, and so that he have really wide knowledge about English. So luckily I am a member of the English team of the school. So I I was I am taught by him. His
You are
name is
lucky.
and his name is Huan.
I think I have not met many Juan in my life, but
Wow.
yeah.
And you
But I'm
met him.
glad that the other one is also very talented.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
Yes, he's really friendly. And
I see.
so that
You know his
I
zodiac
can I can
sign?
just what
You know
zodiac
his
sign?
birthday?
Wow. Well, he's born on January. January.
The end of January?
No, no. I remember it was in the middle of January.
I see. A Capricorn, my good. Well, I'm a Cancer. I'm the opposite of that. I was actually my
Yeah. Well,
birthday's coming, so July 16.
July 16th. Oh,
16 of
so
July, yeah, 16 tháng 7, yeah, is my birthday, so.
okay. So 9 days after is my birthday.
Yes, I know you, Leo. 25th. You said the 25th of July, right?
Yes, that's right.
Right, oh, see. Okay, so tell me, should parents and teachers prevent children from playing games?
Uh, well, undoubtedly no. You know that playing games offer children chances to shy away from the stressful life. In these modern days, children have to cope with a huge amount of stress, not only from school but also after school. Because there are many children nowadays. They have to take extra classes after school, so they rarely have time to rest, and they also have really little time to entertain. So that cause them, so that puts them under a lot of pressure and stress. So that I believe that playing games help them to have time to refresh themselves, and also play also games help can teach them something. There are some cases around the world say that children they learn some survival skills, learn some survival skills from their games, so that they can survive in the jungle for a long time, see, until the until the until
You
the
mean you mean parents should just send children to the army?
no, no, but what can I say? The evacuation or the rescue team, until the
Oh,
rescue team find them.
learning survival skills in survival classes. I see. That's fun.
Yeah, and there are many cases in our lives saying that children learn some survival skills from their games so that they can survive for a long time in the jungle.
But there
And
is no med pack. There's no medikit. There's no med pack. There's no stim
yeah,
pack in the
yes,
wild.
yes,
you know.
there's no med kit, but so that I believe that playing games can help them entertain. Not just entertain, they can gain a huge amount of knowledge, and that can benefit them. And myself, I can state myself as myself can be cited as a telling example. I have learned a lot of English words from games, so that I feel that playing games really helpful for me. So that's why I believe parents and teachers should never prevent children from playing games. But there are some
Exactly.
cases, we all know that spending too much time playing computer games is not good for our health.
Our
So that
health.
we have to we have to know that moderation is really important.
Mm-hmm. Good. So, what are the benefits of playing electronic games? You just mentioned that according to science, there are certain benefits. Then you should know the
Yeah.
answer for this next question. Then,
Yeah, well, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that there are various benefits.
trời may quá
Firstly,
không nói là a plethora of gì đó reason.
no,
You should not use
because
those words, okay? Because it's not very natural.
oh
Plethora or whatever it's called. Mấy cái từ đó nó nghe nó hàng lâm kinh khủng luôn á, nó không có tự nhiên.
yes, that's right.
There are various reasons, yeah.
There are various reasons, and firstly, we all know that playing electronic games help us to shy away from the stressful life. Because you know that in our modern life, we face a lot of stress, as uh, as and so that uh, uh, playing games offers satisfying and entertaining time, so that we can refresh ourselves after just a short time playing game, so that we can concentrate better and boost our productivity in our work. And secondly, we can say that playing electronic games, we can learn about a lot of things about them. Some things like survival skills when children play some game like some game in survival ca category, and
Category, âm đầu nha.
also we
Category.
can ca- category category, and besides. we can learn a lot of English word about when we play games, because you know that many games they are written in English, so the players they have to guess the meaning, and so that they can learn a lot about those about English, so that I myself can be cited as an example. I've learned a lot of things about English from games, so that playing games is really helpful. And eventually, I do believe that playing electronic games it helps us to um, gain. What can I say? It helps us to um, ui, hết rồi.
Okay, good. Very good. Now, that's 46. I would like you to do something a little bit more challenging. Let's
Okay.
say... Hmm. Hmm. Alright, so let's try for 61 then. Describe a quiet place. You should say where it is,
Yeah.
when you go there, and what you do there. Explain why it is a quiet place and why you like it. Miêu tả một cái nơi yên tĩnh. Bạn làm gì ở đó, bạn đến đó khi nào và ở đâu, nơi nó nằm ở đâu. Giải thích tại sao nó là nơi quá yên tĩnh và tại sao bạn thích nó. And then part 3 of a quiet place. Do you think that quietness is good for people? Why not? Bạn có nghĩ cái sự yên tĩnh thì tốt cho con người ta hay không? Tại sao không? Do you think that everybody needs some time by themselves and in a quiet place? Why not? Bạn có nghĩ là mọi người đều cần một khoảng thời gian ở mình và trong một cái nơi yên tĩnh không? Tại sao không? Think about, reflection, time for reflection. For personal reflection. Cái sự mà không phải phản chiếu đâu. Reflection là cái sự chiêm nghiệm lại bản thân, xem mình học được hoặc bài học gì. Like to reflect upon past events to see what lesson you can learn, And also,
Okay.
time alone quietness is extremely important for artists or people who work in artistic fields, Dù có là hướng ngoại đi nữa vẫn cần quietness. Even though if you are an extrovert, you need quietness at times.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
right.
To recharge your social battery. Giống như sạc lại cái pin xã giao xã hội. Everyone needs rest, right? We have something called social rest. Ai cũng cần nghỉ ngơi về mặt xã giao, xã hội chẳng hạn. Social rest. Nó có đến gần 8 đến 9 loại rest luôn á. There's 8 to 9 type of resting. Okay. Next one. Do you think that everybody needs some time by themselves and in a quiet place? Why not? Bạn có nghĩ rằng mọi người đều cần một khoảng thời gian ở yên mình và trong một nơi yên tĩnh hay không? Tại sao không? Do you think that cities should be more quiet? Why not? Bạn có nghĩ những thành thị nên là yên tĩnh hơn hay không? Tại sao không? Think about how being noisy can affect people's sleep, Nó ảnh hưởng chất lượng giấc ngủ nha. The quality of sleep. And it affect your quality of other things too. Quality of life. Nhiều tại sao người thành thị luôn luôn cảm thấy mệt mỏi hơn? Why the city urban people are often always much more tired and they need coffee more, than people from, like, let's say the forest or other places. Okay. I do believe that you have the answer for this question very quickly. Do you?
Sorry, what question?
For this topic 61, I do believe that you have the answer for this one, like very quickly. I don't know why, but I just believe it.
Well, yeah, I have some idea, but I'm finding something to expand expand my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, you can talk about it now. Describe a quiet place.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to describe a place that is really quiet in my experience, and let me tell you a story. And that was the time when I was reviewing knowledge to prepare for the provincial competition,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt at that time I felt really stressful, and
Wait, I feel really stressed. Tính từ chủ động, từ
uh,
bị động. Cẩn thận là phải stress ed mới đúng nha. I feel really stressed.
okay,
Really
I
stressed.
felt really stressed,
Mm-hmm.
stressed,
Mm-hmm.
and and also I find that all the schoolmates that I have that I newly met, there are there are those some people that I cannot make my close friend. You know, although I am an extrovert person, but I can rarely make any close friend. And so that I go to the back of my school building, and I lied on the rock chair there, and so that and I closed my eyes and reflected myself, and I saw the things have gone, and I figure out many things, and I learned a lot of lessons. You know that and it reminds me of the time when I have some problem with my girlfriend, and so that we have a lot of debate, and we have a lot of problem to arguments, and we never and we rarely have some uh, mm, we already gone to a conclusion, so that caused me a lot of stress, and it made me felt really stressed and irritated, so that in at the school at the back of my school I have the time to rest and recharge my social battery. Also, I learned a lot of lesson, and after that, the next day, I can I can go on. I can I can got on well with my girlfriend, and
I can get
also
on well with my
I have
girlfriend.
better. Well, it's just I am telling a story in the past tense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I
that
see.
I can got on well. I can got on well with my girlfriend, and I can
Wait, I think you spend a
uh,
lot too much
expand.
time on this part two topic, I think.
Yeah, and so that I can recharge my social battery, and that's why I really enjoy this quiet place, the school chair, no, the rock chair at the back of my school, and that's all.
Okay, good. Let's go to part three now. Do you think that quietness is good for people?
Yes, undoubtedly, having quietness help people to reflect their person. You know, um, people have to rush every day in our busy lives, so that they rarely have time. And also they have rarely have quiet place to rest, so that they cannot have their personal reflection, and
Yeah,
they cannot
reflection, are you
learn
sure?
a lot of
Okay, to have personal reflection. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry,
so that um
I thought you talk about something else, yeah? Personal reflection,
yeah,
yes. What about it?
and so that they couldn't learn a lot of lessons about their life, and they cannot conclude any new things. They cannot uh, learn any lessons from the past which had gone by. So that I believe that having some quietness is really beneficial for people to not only to learn new lessons, but also can help them to uh, better their mood. You know, after an argument with other people, we tend to lose temper, and that time we need a quiet place to um, reflect the past to reflect the past experience, and we can help we can control we can have control back on our emotions, so that we can keep calm and face with new things in our life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Now, do you think that everybody needs some time by themselves and in a quiet place? Why not?
Well, yes, undoubtedly. You know that in our modern lives, we all believe that everyone need to have their own privacy, and that's why people to um, need to let other people have their own secure place. Especially with couples who fell out have just fell out with each other, and they tend to lose their temper, so that having a quiet place to rest and can help them to control their emotion, so that
Mm-hmm.
they can make up with each other with later, and that's really beneficial for couples. And also um, you know, in our modern days, we need to, we all know that meditation is good for everyone, so that having a quiet place in our mind can be really beneficial for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you think that city should be more quiet? Why or why not?
Well, in my experience, I believe that as we are living in a thriving economy, we cannot expect cities to be more quiet. You know that crowded and noisy cities is the are characteristics of super cities, and also it helps to boost the national economy, so that we can say that in order to better our life, to
Mm-hmm.
improve our standard of living, we need to live in noisy and busy cities, so that we cannot expect it to be quiet. You know, not just day, but night can be the time for people to make money and to earn the income, so that we cannot expect them to close all services or close all the shops, so that the national economy couldn't can
The
it
national
cannot
economy would
expand in
collapse
the
if you expect that to happen, you know.
collapse. Yeah, so that quietness in cities is really rare, and it should be prevented.
Should not be prevented, you mean?
It should be prevented.
Wait, you said that quiet.
No, I
Yeah?
mean, a quiet cities should be prevented, as it's really harmful for the development of the country.
Hmm. I see your point. I see your point. Okay, good. So, let's try a topic part two, another topic. But we have a lot of the part two unanswered, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do one part two and then that's it. Okay, try 69 then. Describe a piece of international news. Tin tức quốc tế nha. A piece of international news you have just recently heard. Miêu tả một tin tức quốc tế mà bạn vừa mới nghe được. You should say what the news was about. Cái tin tức lúc đó là về cái gì vậy? When and where you heard it. Bạn nghe nó lúc nào và đang ở đâu? What you were doing when you heard the news. Lúc đó bạn đang làm gì khi bạn nghe cái tin đó? Explain how you felt about this piece of news. Giải thích bạn cảm thấy thế nào về cái mẫu tin này. Okay, you have some time. Alright, so you can describe a piece of international news you have just recently heard now.
Okay. Now, well, you mean I should start right now?
Yes, please. You had your time to think already.
Okay. Well, I'm going to describe a piece of news that was about the transfer market. In football, uh, there are many players who are migrating to Arabic leagues, because the Arabic clubs, they are offering huge contracts with top players, so that a lot of um, a lot of well-known players, they are moving to play in Arabic countries. And recently I haven't heard the news about Karim Benzema,
Who
who
it?
is Karim Benzema,
Okay.
who is a world-class player in football. He's transferred from uh, La Liga to an Arabic league, and he was offered a huge contract that was about 200 millions euros per year. And that was really shocking, because that world-class player, and Benzema is still in his prime, so I couldn't imagine why he chose to play in Arabic leagues, not playing at the on at La Liga, one of the best league in the world. And when I heard the news, I have just get up from sleep, so I feel it
I
helped
felt.
me, and I felt shocking, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't feel asleep, so that this piece of news has made a boom on the social networking sites, and everyone was feeling shocking and mm, what can I say? And they feel sorry about the fact that Benzema has left his club. So that I believe that is really is this international news is really shocking for everyone.
Mhm. Okay, good. I think that's it for today now. You have any question?
Now, I think we should do some part one question because you skip a lot of time, and my mother she would complain about that.
Oh, all right. So let's try and one more, okay?
Uh, no, we can try some part one questions. That's really quick.
Okay, sure, if you want to. Okay, so we can try number 10. TV programs and yeah. So what kind of TV programs do you like?
Well, personally, I love some game show or some news program. Updating news every day help me to maintain a lifestyle that is well informed about the things that is happening around the world, and also I'm a fan of sports, so I love to update news about sport every day, and so that's the programs that I love most on TV.
Okay. Right, so what do you think about game shows, reality TV shows, documentary, drama, etc.?
Well, I believe they all have the same purpose. That is help the public to entertain and to be well informed about the things that is happening around the world. When it comes to game shows, it helps people to entertain, and when it comes to reality TV shows, people can learn a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge about from those shows. And in terms of documentary, uh, they can be informed about the glorious history of the past, of their kind. So that is really interesting.
Okay.
So yes.
Do you often watch programs on the TV or on your cell phone?
Well, normally in my daily life, uh, I rarely watch TV. You know, um, in these modern days, I just updating news on social networking sites, and so that I can be well informed about the news around the world. As if I watch news on some news program on the TV, uh, those those news they have to be you know go they have to go through some verification before published the to the residents, so that I just updating news on social networking sites on my phone.
Okay, I see. So, do you like watching the same kind of program all the time or you switch?
Well, you know that watching the same kind of program for a long time can cause people to be bored.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, personally, I would love to have my own favorite kinds of program, but I do love to switch to other programs to try new experience, to updating knowledge about other things happening around the world, or some kinds of new entertainment, and so that um, mm, I would
Yes.
love to uh, switch program recently. Uh, but would love to switch programs sometimes.
Right. Do you talk with your friends about the program you watched? Or no?
Well, in my experience, I rarely talk to anyone about the program I watch, because you know that if if I have my favorite program to watch, it means that it is one of my hobby, and sometimes I love to keep that a secret of mine, and I rarely
A
tell anyone
secret,
about
huh?
that. Yeah,
Why would you
because
keep it a
it's
secret then?
because you know it can reflect something about us, and if there's something that is ridiculous happening in the program, I would be I would be
Uh-huh.
some
You would be what? You would be what?
criticized.
Right, you would be
For example,
criticized, I say.
or I can be uh, tricked, or I can
Yes?
make I can be a Mickey gì nhỉ?
A
Take I
what?
can cái gì rồi? My friends they can take the Mickey out of mine, so that so it's
Okay,
really ridiculous.
I see. Right, let's try this question. What do you think about TV programs in your country? You think anything could be improved?
Mm, well, I believe that TV programs are developing day by day, and it meets with the high demand of the public. So it can be watched at any age group. So I believe that TV programs nowadays in my country is really highly suggested for people to entertain. So, but there are really some points they should improve, as there are maybe some mistakes in their script, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right, I see. But the script, I think the scripts should be improved somehow, and Vietnamese TV programs should be made more attractive to the viewers, the audiences, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, do you prefer international TV programs or national ones?
Well, I believe that it depends on whether the programs is interesting or not. You know, there are some national programs that I find they are really interesting, and it can help me to entertain really easily. And but there are some things that international TV programs do better, like their script. They rarely have any mistakes, and also some international TV programs they are more entertaining than national ones, because you know that in Western countries they are more they are living in a more freedom environment. So the script tend to be more interesting, and it can match with the demand of adult or young adult, so that it can be more humorous and more attractive to young people than to our generation nowadays. So that
Okay,
I
that's good
believe that
enough, I guess.
yes.
All right, let's end the video here. I think that's it. Enough today. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh á, để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.